From the highest branches of Sivana, I have watched the story of Julian Mantle unfold. A titan of the modern world, a brilliant lawyer who possessed wealth, status, and power, yet slowly collapsed beneath the unbearable emptiness of his own success. In this sacred valley, he has already uncovered the first secret of the sages, the magnificent garden of the mind. He learned that the human mind, like a fertile garden, becomes whatever it is carefully trained to grow. But hidden beyond the blooming roses of Sivana, another symbol has been waiting silently in the shadows. A symbol far older, far greater, and far more dangerous. Now, the valley itself is beginning to awaken. The absolute stillness of Sivana is breaking, and beneath Julian's feet, the sacred earth begins trembling with ancient power. The great floral mandala is splitting open.
The trembling grows stronger. The sacred valley of Sivana is no longer silent. Cracks spread violently through the floral mandala, like veins awakening beneath the skin of the earth itself. Then suddenly, the center of the garden collapses inward. An ancient force erupts from beneath the valley floor. Stone grinds against stone. Clouds of dust explode into the morning air. And from the heart of the sacred garden, the crimson giant begins to rise. An ancient lighthouse, forged entirely from deep dark red stone, emerges through the silver Himalayan mist. It feels less like architecture and more like something eternal, returning to the world.
Julian cannot look away from the towering crimson structure. The impossible lighthouse disappears into the silver clouds above Sivana, like a monument built beyond time itself. Beside him, Yogi Raman remains perfectly calm. The sages call this the second pillar, the monk says quietly. The lighthouse represents your Dharma, your true purpose in this world. Most human beings spend their entire lives moving without ever understanding where they are truly going. They chase success, comfort, approval, and endless distraction. But a life without purpose slowly empties the human spirit. Energy without direction eventually becomes suffering.
Without purpose, the human mind becomes a wandering ship lost in endless fog, always moving, but never arriving. Julian lowers his eyes. For years, he believed success meant power, money, status, recognition. But standing within the sacred silence of Sivana, those victories suddenly feel painfully empty. Yogi Raman slowly steps toward the massive lighthouse. Many people spend decades climbing ladders, only to discover the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall.
Julian feels the old world inside him beginning to crack apart. For decades, he believed happiness lived inside achievement, another victory, another case, another paycheck, another applause. But standing before the sacred lighthouse of Sivana, he suddenly sees the truth. He spent years building a life that looked successful from the outside, while slowly collapsing within. The modern world taught him how to earn a living, but never how to truly live. Yogi Raman watches Julian carefully as the cold mountain wind moves through the sacred garden. Then, slowly, Yogi Raman reaches into the folds of his crimson robe. From within the flowing fabric, he removes an ancient leather-bound journal. The edges are weathered with age. Golden symbols shimmer faintly across the cover. This is the book of dreams. Every meaningful life begins with clarity. Most people never consciously decide who they truly want to become. So, fear, distraction, and society make the decision for them. Julian stares silently at the ancient journal resting in the monk's hands. A human being without purpose becomes controlled by distraction. But the moment a person discovers a meaningful mission, everything changes. Energy increases, fear weakens, discipline becomes natural. Purpose transforms suffering into growth. Purpose transforms exhaustion into devotion. Purpose transforms ordinary people into legends. Julian listens silently as the sacred valley of Sivana glows beneath the rising morning sun. The sacred valley grows silent once again. The mountain winds move softly through the crimson roses beneath the towering lighthouse. Yogi Raman turns toward Julian. His ancient amber eyes study the former lawyer carefully. Tell me something, Julian Mantle. If all fear disappeared from your life tomorrow, who would you become? Julian feels his entire world stop. For the first time in his adult life, he has absolutely no answer. And deep within himself, he realizes something terrifying. He has spent most of his life running away from himself instead of toward a meaningful purpose. Julian remains silent, but deep within him, something has begun to change. The sacred valley no longer feels distant or mysterious. For the first time in years, he feels fully awake. He begins to understand that purpose is not something the world gives to a person. It is something discovered within. The lighthouse does not force direction upon anyone. It simply shines. And those willing to follow its light slowly discover who they were truly meant to become. The sacred valley grows silent once more. The massive crimson lighthouse stands motionless above Sivana, like an eternal guardian watching over forgotten wisdom. Julian continues staring upward into the silver clouds surrounding the ancient structure. Then suddenly, inside the crimson lighthouse, a deep metallic sound rumbles from somewhere inside. Julian turns toward the towering structure, and slowly an enormous ancient doorway hidden within the crimson stone begins opening into darkness. The next lesson is waiting. And so, the lighthouse reveals the second secret of Sivana. It does not force direction. It simply shines for those willing to seek their true purpose. Tonight, Julian leaves this garden changed. As for me, my old eyes grow heavy. It is time for sleep. But beyond the ancient doorway, another lesson waits. And soon we shall return to uncover the next symbol of Sivana.